Mr. Obernolte.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to thank the committee chairman for holding this hearing on what I consider to be a critically important topic. Sheriff Dicus, welcome back to Washington, D.C. San Bernardino County is the largest part of my district, and you've been a great leader for our county and our law enforcement agencies, so thanks for your continued presence and your voice here. I wanted to ask you about one of the major challenges that we always have in districts like mine, where 78% of the land is federally managed, and that creates real challenges when we need to quickly deploy temporary communications infrastructure in response to an emergency, or when we're trying to deploy more permanent communications infrastructure to prepare for emergencies. So can you talk about any obstacles that you faced in trying to get deployable equipment on federally managed land or trying to build permanent infrastructure on federally managed land?
Governance and real estate, two of the biggest things when we're talking about communications and expanding across. But there, in a lot of instances, maybe the U.S. Forest Service or the Bureau of Land Management may have repeaters to use on their own radio systems. Common sense would be sharing those towers and really that infrastructure to be able to continue with whether it's a FirstNet system or a county-operated 800 megahertz system. We have experienced barriers, and it's usually bureaucracy are those barriers. If we can actually put the people who are in charge of those systems and understand that we need to back each other up, and I know you're familiar with this, but in our Barstow area, it's a 5,000 square mile beat for one deputy. Their backup is a BLM ranger or a CHP officer on the freeway. And we all have to be able to interoperate, but that's bureaucracy. We need to fix that. We need to make it straight through, and there's some common sense approaches. Communication is communication.
Right. Well, that's why we're all here having this discussion. I also was very interested in your testimony about the need to establish cybersecurity standards, and I know that the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department had a cybersecurity incident several years ago. Can you talk a little bit about that incident, the way it affected your capabilities, and how cybersecurity standards like the ones you're advocating for would have helped?
That ransomware attack probably was, in my entire career, and I've been doing this for almost 35 years now, affected the brand of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and the way we deliver customer service, which we take great pride in doing it. We also had to rely on a number of our other agencies that weren't affected by this. And you have to understand, and let me see if I can put everybody as quickly as possible into the driver's seat of what the sheriff has. You have an insurance company that comes in that becomes the quarterback of this, but yet as the sheriff, you're going after the threat actors. Who did this to you? You want to go out and make arrests and do those types of things. Internationally, that's an impossible issue for a sheriff. But then you call in your three-letter agencies that come in and support you on that, but yet you also have the responsibility to get back the data on behalf of your constituents, both the victims, the suspects, and your employees. It puts you in this untenable situation. In order to prevent that, we need to have the best standards, DoD-type standards, to secure our information. There's a lot of basics in how you operate this, but as threat actors become more sophisticated, we need to be on the cutting edge of that to protect ourselves.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff Dicus. It's great to see you again. Dr. Fontes, I found your testimony very compelling on the need for next generation 911. And I think everyone here on the dais would completely agree that this is something that we have to get across the finish line. As part of your testimony, you were discussing the need to stop continually coming up with cost estimates and actually move into implementation. But from our point of view, part of the problem is that the latest cost estimate, and I think you cited in your testimony, is adjusted for inflation, $15 billion. So my question is, as a technologist myself, these call centers, they already have computers, they already have communications. From my standpoint, Next-Gen 911 is just software. It's software on the consumer side, maybe with the cell phone operators. It's software on the call center side. How on earth does it cost $15 billion? I mean, where does that money go if it's just software that we're talking about?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your question. I would contend that it isn't just software. Many of our 911 centers don't even have broadband capabilities. So there's that connectivity issue that has to take place. There also has to be the technology in the centers to enable the utilization of data and information coming in. And a lot of these centers don't have that type of technology that would enable what I call information-rich or data-rich 911 calls. So if it were just a computer solution, we'd been there a long time ago. It's far more than that. It's planning, it's coordination at state level, it's backroom management of information and data and files and records, and the list goes on. Hopefully you'll have an opportunity to, if you haven't already, go to a 911 center and see what it is that's going on there, and to ask them how this project that they're engaged in is different than the legacy 911 systems we have today.
Sure, yeah, I have done that, and I have asked that.
Good.
And the centers that I went had broadband and had computers. So, as a software guy myself, this seems like a software problem. It sure seems like we should be able to solve it for less than $15 billion. But I welcome the continued discussion. I see we're out of time.
I'd welcome that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yield back.
The gentleman yields. The chair recognizes